I decided to go onto TikTok to watch some kind of, content on reselling just to see what people are up to because in the last few days, I've not been doing anything. I'm kind of on holiday in case you are wondering. Yes, I still have my business, but I'm just chilling and I decided to go onto TikTok, a platform I wasn't for quite a long time because if you are really very busy, you suddenly realize something. And the thing is that you cannot possibly be on every platform. There's going to come a time you're going to finally decide on which platform you really want to be on. When I started doing this thing like posting on social media, I tried to be everywhere. I was on Instagram, on TikTok, on YouTube, on Facebook, and then I realized quickly that look, you have to finally decide on what platform you want to be relevant in. So I picked YouTube because I found out that they have this monetization program, and I realized that of course TikTok also has it, but sometimes it's just not worth me investing a lot of time there. Here and there I still post some content there, but the idea is YouTube is my platform. But today I decided to visit TikTok just to see how people are actually faring when it comes to reselling. And mine, it cracked me up because there were just so many takeaways, so many things to learn. It cracked me up to realize what people are also doing in this area of PC flipping, flipping laptops, gaming PCs, desktop PCs. There is a lot going on. And one of the quick takeaways I had was that look, brain rot content is real. There are people that their job is just to sit here, cook up some brain rot content and push it out there. Of course, don't get me wrong, it's a business model. It doesn't take less time to actually do it. To create brain rot content, you also need to have time put into it. You have to edit the video in a certain way, and you have to make sure it's very attention grabbing. All these things takes time. Don't now begin to think that because it's brain rot, it doesn't take time, it's so easy to create. Look, I'm a content creator myself. I understand what effort you need to put in to create this kind of content, but it cracked me up. And then I also learned some certain things when I started selling many years ago. When I just initially started this business, yes, I used to kind of listen to some of this advice, and they were really very helpful to me. Funny enough, they were very helpful because I didn't know what I didn't know. And when you do not have any other basis to compare your information, you kind of hold on to what you are getting and you believe that that's the fact. It kind of helped me, and I did test every method that is being proposed by some of these videos, but most of the videos just kept me laughing because I knew right from the get-go. It's kind of amazing how many things I know today. I could tell that this is, even though it looks realistic on paper, but this is not a sustainable model that you can actually use for a PC flipping business. Of course, a lot of these people kind of made videos about gaming PCs, a few office PCs, which I kind of am a specialist when it comes to flipping office PCs. But then one thing that I also found very, very interesting in these videos is that everybody seemed to be talking about Facebook Marketplace. I bought this off of Facebook Marketplace and I brought it home. I flipped it, which is very good, and that everybody is kind of repeating the fact that they got this PC or that part, this graphic card, this SSD off of a Facebook Marketplace might be something that you might want to take a look at. If you are just starting out, of course, you can actually use some of the methods described in this TikTok, clips. Guys, I'm going to be making a reaction video in a separate video, just reacting to each of the clips that I watch and see how I'm going to make that possible. But the thing is, since we're talking about Facebook Marketplace, that might just be a very good place for you to take a look. Perhaps you might be lucky to find something worthwhile. But I will warn you, this is not a method that is very time efficient. If you are starting out just trying to make PC flipping like a hobby, of course you want to knock yourself out. But then if you are thinking yourself, I want to make this a business where I will constantly have inventories, not to wear myself out trying to go out and pick stuff all the time, you are going to quickly realize that picking items off of Facebook Marketplace might not be a sustainable business model after all. But truth be said, sometimes you get the best profit margins from the items that you go out to pick on a one-off basis. You see, I tried that for years. I'm telling you, about 3 or 4 years, I was simply picking stuff off of these marketplaces from Facebook Marketplace. Back then, we used to have a website called eBay Kleinanzeigen. If you live in Germany, you can relate to what I mean. But I think eBay kind of sold this website. Now it's just called Kleinanzeigen. The last time I checked, it was like a desert zone. There were no new listings. Everything just kind of, it was like a replica of what you guys have in the United States, which is Craigslist. Guys, then we used to hunt. I used to call myself a hunter then. I go there, hunt out good parts, graphic cards, SSDs, RAM sticks, whole PCs. And to be honest, I did find some of the best suppliers that I have today from that platform, because sometimes some companies, because they didn't want to go the route of posting on the conventional eBay at the time, they just go to this kind of marketplaces because they were much easier. Sometimes it takes you like 3 or 4 clicks to have your items listed. There were no protocols of having your imprint, your business imprint or names like it's just like a private a private platform where private people list their items and private people come around and buy them. Sometimes when I go to pick up stuff, I realize that yes, some of the people that made these offers, they were not just private people, they were business people. Sometimes they were offices closing their businesses and they had a lot of stuff to sell. So one strategy you want to use if you want to go that route is for you to always ask the people when you go to pick something. Ask them, do you still have some stuff that I could possibly buy? And you'll be so shocked to realize that people will say, yes, I have stuff that you can still buy. You'll be shocked at what people have in their basement. Sometimes I got to some of these basements. I was shocked to realize that even though the PC that was on offer was just one PC, the seller had more than 25 pieces of particular PC, but it could be a Dell Optiplex, a HP PC lying down there just in the basement. When you ask, tell you, yes, this PC was in my office. I closed down and everything is just here. I'm trying to, dispose of them. Of course, it was a good, time to actually, go around, pick up stuff. But later on, I quickly realized that it wasn't a practical, strategy to use for a sustainable business. You spend a lot of time, going out there to pick stuff. You spend a lot of time, trying to make the appointment with the person that's selling the stuff, trying to find a time that will be convenient for them to pick up stuff. You spend a lot of time driving on the road. At the time, I had to drive to Munich all the time because then I lived in Freising. It was just one constant traffic or the other. I spent time going to pick up stuff, and sometimes you get there, the picture that was made on the internet is pretty much different from what you have to pick. But because you are there, you already drove like 60 kilometers, you just don't find it, funny to just go back without picking the stuff. You buy them, you pick them. And then sometimes people tend to lie a lot. There's no guarantee on these items. You go there, you buy them. It's as displayed. You see them, the person tells you, yes, it's working. And you take it back, you pay for it, take it home, put it on and realize that there's one problem here or the other. But the thing is, this is one way you can actually start. But if you are thinking of optimizing for your time, you might be better off, gradually trying to look for a supplier. A supplier is that company that already has this item in large quantities. They have good prices because they are also benefiting from large scale purchases. And because of that, you are better off. This item has been tested. So when you buy these items from suppliers, of course, you may have to pay a little bit more, but you will be optimizing for your time. You don't need to be, traveling, traveling all day long on the road just to pick up 2 pieces. Then you can actually just go ahead, buy 10, 15 pieces at a time or even 20 units. Then you are sure that the items that you are bringing in have been fully tested. And if you have problems with the items not working, you still have that, leeway to return the item, which is something that could be a game changer. Because if you go ahead to buy 3 units or 2 doesn't work properly or 1 or 2 has some missing parts, it might be difficult for you to break even. But if you have bought from a supplier and you strive to develop a relationship with a supplier, you are going to be better off for it on the long run. Sometimes when you also go out to pick up things from people's house, you will be shocked how many weirdos you tend to come across. Not every offer you see on the internet is posted by the same person. Some of these offers are also posted by people with weird character, and that at the end of the day, it just made a lot of sense to gradually develop a relationship with a supplier. Of course, it might take a lot of work, take a lot of effort, because you might be having to get a lot of no's. In the beginning, supplier doesn't trust you, doesn't know who you are. But if you keep pushing, giving the supplier to believe that you are somebody that wants to do serious business, you are ultimately, going to get, some very good conditions from the supplier. I'm telling you, because right now, when I started, I got zero discount from a supplier. I was with suppliers for like literally years before I started getting, 5% discount, 10%, even 15%, discount, not per transaction, but across board. It doesn't matter what I'm buying. You already have that, discount on the front before the supplier also gives a better price, which gives you a kind of better margin to go ahead and flip your item peacefully on a platform, say eBay, on your website, on Amazon, wherever you want to sell your item. But the thing is, you just get a better margin doing that. But if you watch these TikTok videos, everything's happening so fast, everything's happening so so quick. The editing makes it looks like it's just like you going out there picking up stuff from Facebook Marketplace, bringing it home, putting some graphic card and installing Windows, and then flipping it. Boom, you made a lot of money. It doesn't really happen like that. This is just the social media magic. Of course, like I said, if you are a social media person, you want to really make money off just making content on social media, of course it is a very viable business model. But if you are thinking of being a PC flipper, just like the word says, PC flipper, somebody that buys PCs in bulk or buy PCs 1 or 2, 3 units, bring them home and sell them. You want to optimize for time. You want to optimize for your effort, because if you're also putting a lot of effort just to make one unit sellable, it's also not going to be sustainable on the long run. The best thing will be for you to actually go ahead, develop business relationships, set up properly as a business, have this long-term thinking, not the traditional PC flipping side hustle, side income money that TikTok tries to make you believe that you can easily make. Have that thinking of rendering a very major service to people out there. See yourself as that person in between, rescuing the PCs from landing in the landfills, and you are that person that traps these PCs. You bring them home, you clean them up, and above all, you make them reusable, which is the refurbishing that you tend to hear about. You are that person rendering that very important service, which a lot of people may not want to do. In doing that, you are going to make a lot of money doing it. But if you want to go the easy route of just trying to pick one PC, flip it, and drive again, it's not going to be sustainable, and you might not ultimately make money on the front end if PC flipping is what you are aiming to make money from. But you might make money making content on social media. I hope this video helps you. If it does, please go ahead, click on the like button. Until I see you again in the next one. Peace.